Hello YouTube, this is Jay from Maji and Jay. Today in this video we're going to be reviewing the new Elephone P3000S upgraded model that I got from the website penthewheel.com. As you guys remember, a few months ago I did review and unbox the Elephone P3000S standard model, and it had different processing power and also different RAM as well as a different display. This model here, just to get started, has a 5-inch. It is a 5-point multi-touch screen and it has a resolution of 1920 by 1080, so it is a full HD display. It's also IPS OGS. On the top, you're going to find a 5 megapixel sensor camera. Even though it has been interpolated to be an 8, that's going to be fake. We got the proximity and light sensor, the ear speaker, and also the notification LED light on the right side of the speaker, together with the 4G logo. On the bottom of the phone, we can barely see it because they do not light up. You have the menu key, the home key, and also the back key. If you look on the left side of the phone, we find here the volume rocker, and the frame this time is also made of plastic, and as we can tell, the phone is quite thick, measuring 8.5 millimeters. On the top, you're going to find the charging/data port. This is also going to support OTG with the 3.5mm headphone jack. On the right side, we find the power button, and then this is a method that I do like, where the power button and the volume rockers are separated. They are also very easy to reach with one hand. So that's definitely a plus for me, at least in my opinion. On the bottom, we got here the microphone. Then looking on the back, we're going to find an interpolated 13 megapixel sensor, but in fact, it's going to be 8 megapixels Sony sensor. Now, talking about the fingerprint scanner, this one here has been upgraded from the previous P3000S. The previous model had a lot of flaws. Now that I notice with the upgraded model how fluent it is, the previous model sometimes didn't read my fingerprint quite accurately, or sometimes if it was, I would say, slightly wet or slightly sweaty, it wouldn't read it either. But this one has been improved in every single way. Then here on the bottom, we're going to find this little logo that says keep expecting and be surprised. This is very common on Elephone devices, together with the loudspeaker. If you open the back of the phone, inside here we're going to find that this is a dual SIM dual standby device and also supports TF cards up to 128 gigabytes this time. Opening the battery here, we're going to find that this is a 3150 power milliamp battery, and it's actually correct. Now have in mind, guys, that we do have a strong processor and also a 1080p display, so it's going to last almost the same as the Elephone P3000S regular model. Inside, we're going to find here the model of the phone, and we can see here it says 3GB, meaning 3 gigabytes of RAM. The previous model of this same phone only had 2 gigabytes, and also this one comes with 16 gigabytes of internal storage, the same thing that we saw from the previous model. We can see here the IMEI information and whatnot, so let's go ahead and install the battery, so that way, once again, we can see what kind of boot logo we have on this phone. Now also, before we boot it up, I think I mentioned on the unboxing video that this phone comes with NFC, but I made a little mistake. This model here doesn't have the NFC capability, so that was a little mistake by me, guys. I do apologize for bringing that false information. So here, let's go ahead and snap this in place. Let's flip it around and let's turn it on. So this phone here, guys, was very impressive. The gaming performance is absolutely amazing. Remember that we had 3 gigabytes of RAM, and also the battery did last me more than a day depending on the usage. So if you guys are going to use a lot of internet, I would say, play a lot of games and so on, then the battery is going to drain a little bit faster. So yes, I would recommend bringing the charger with you if you are a heavy gamer. In my case, I was okay with a full day because all I do was make a few phone calls, text messages, some browsing, some gaming, but I keep it under control. Now when we first boot up the phone, the first thing we're going to find here is the lock screen. On the lock screen, we find the time. We also got the dates, and we can see, guys, that this time we have 3 different toggles. We can go directly into the dialer, unlock the device, or go directly into messages. So for now, we're going to unlock the device, and here we are going to be greeted with the operating system. This is the simplified version of the Android KitKat 4.4.4, and I have to say that with the 3 gigabytes of RAM in combination and the MTK6752, it's performing absolutely great. Here I have some heavy gaming already installed. We got Modern Combat 5, we do have Oswald 8, Riptide GP2, we have Sonic Dash around here. So these are games that do require a lot of processing power and also RAM in order to operate well. As a matter of fact, here I have the Antutu benchmark test that I got, and I think it was a score of about 34,128. Now the score was slightly lower than we are used to see on the MTK6752, and that's because we have a true 1080p display this time. Here, let's go ahead and check the ranking, and this phone was ranked just below the LG G3, which is a very popular phone still. Recently we saw the LG G4 was released, so I think this phone is going to be very competitive competitive in the market, and for the price, especially if your country is going to support 4G LTE, I would definitely recommend this phone. This phone has been upgraded in every single way, and I was super satisfied, guys. I'll keep mentioning this throughout the video because I was very impressed with the performance of this particular model here. On the system information, we're going to have the brand Elephone. You can see here the model. It is the 64-bit version. We do have the Android KitKat 4.4.4. I believe that on the previous model we had the Android KitKat 4.4.2. We do have the 1080p display. The GPU is going to be the Mali T760, which is the same GPU that we see on the Samsung Galaxy S6, so it is very powerful. Here we can see the camera on the back has been interpolated, but that's something that I like about Pandawil, that they are quite honest, and the camera is going to be in fact an 8-megapixel sensor. If you continue scrolling down, we're going to find the CPU, it's the MTK6752, and here we're going to have the remaining of the information, guys. We do have there the Android. It is the SDK19 with the 4.4.x, so yeah, that does confirm that this is the Android KitKat and it's not going to be fake. Here we have all the sensors supported. Also, if you go here into settings, then we go to about page, we're going to find that this is in fact the Android KitKat, and here we can see it, and it's going to receive the OTA for Lollipop very shortly, so it's not going to take too much to receive it. Elephone is pretty good with that. And here we have the current version of the operating system. I did try to update it several times, but right now it is claiming to be on the latest version, as we can tell right there from that message. The next thing we're going to check here on settings is going to be the RAM available, and the RAM hasn't been fake whatsoever. I did confirm all this information before I brought out the review, of course. So here on running, we're going to find all the RAM available, and right now we have almost 2 gigabytes, which is tremendous. Of course, I'm not playing a lot of games right now, but yes, guys, I mean, with this RAM, we should be more than okay. Also here on storage, we're going to see that this is 16 gigabytes, and out of 16 gigabytes we have about almost 13 available, which is for now more than sufficient, depending on how much recording you guys do, how many pictures, how many files, and so on. But you can also upgrade it up to 128 gigabytes, which is very cool. Now, so far, something that I don't like about the Elephone P3000S, even the previous model and this model, is that they kept the soft touch keys on the bottom where they do not light up. So on nighttime, you guys are going to have a hard time finding them. Sometimes you press the wrong button because, as we can see, they're fairly close. So when you're in the daylight time, it should be okay, but this was some sort of an inconvenience. I really don't like this from any device out there because it makes it a little bit confusing. Now here, I'm also going to show you guys now the camera test. The camera, again, the back is an 8-megapixel sensor. The front is a 5-megapixel sensor. So let's go ahead and check it out and let me know what you guys think. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Jay, and today's a little bit windy here in Florida, but we got the camera test of the Elephone P3000S. This camera has been interpolated to be a 13 megapixels, but in fact it's going to be 8 megapixels. But the Sony sensor is working quite well on this camera. As we can tell, guys, the focus is quite good. I would say the autofocus, the colors, everything is very realistic, except that we don't have optical image stabilization. So here I am trying to test the autofocus. I'm moving the camera around. I don't have to tap on the screen. This is very nice. And also some pictures have been provided down below, so make sure you guys check them out. And now let's test the front-facing camera. Finally, we are testing the 5-megapixel sensor camera of the Elephone P3000S. This is the front camera, of course. And I think that the recording quality, the colors are very nice. On most Chinese devices, we're lacking, I would say, the brightness on the picture. On this particular model, it's a little bit better. It has been improved and the colors are better as well. I don't know if you guys agree with me. And also the selfies are going to be great. And there we saw the camera test, guys. So I would say that for an 8-megapixel sensor, I think it's working quite well. The only thing that is getting boring now with the Chinese devices, that most brands, they do carry this same camera UI, and it's very simplistic, but it's very boring at the same time. You don't have a lot of features to actually take advantage of. On the top, you're just going to have the panorama mode, beauty face mode, and those basic features. So it's nothing very special here. Now, when we go into camera settings, we're going to find that it has been interpolated to be a 13, but again, guys, that's not going to be correct. If you flip the camera around, you're going to find here the front-facing camera, and it's actually very snappy. As you guys can see, it's not lagging whatsoever, so I did like that about this camera. But again, if you go here into camera settings, we're going to find that right now I have it at 5 megapixels, and as a matter of fact, it's not interpolated. But on the website of Pandawil, I think they said something about an interpolation of 8 megapixels, but in fact it's 5, which I think is more than sufficient for selfies. None of us use the camera that much, at least the front-facing camera camera to record. We mostly use it for selfies, and this is going to do a perfect job for that purpose. Another great thing about this phone, I would say another great aspect of it, is that the GPS is working perfectly well. We don't need to root it or customize it in order to get it working. I would say that any device out there with the MTK6752 or even the MTK6592 and up, the GPS works for the most part quite well. But on this phone, I didn't have any issues. The maps did follow me quite well, so I didn't have any cutoffs or any glitches. Here we're going to test it now from inside of the house, and we're going to see how fast it's going to lock a signal. I would say it's almost instant. Right now it's reading 18 satellites, and out of 18 I would say it's using almost 6 right now. And there we go, guys, it has locked a signal already, so it was quite fast. Only takes a few seconds before it does it. Then another thing we're going to test here is going to be the 5-point multi-touch screen. We have this application, it is called Antutu Tester, and here we're going to confirm that this is a 5-point multi-touch screen, but it doesn't go above that. It is a 1080p display, and I think that the quality is also very nice. We can barely see the pixels this time. So here we're going to go ahead and test here on YouTube. For some weird reason, guys, on many Chinese devices I'm not able to play 1080p videos, unfortunately. But here, let's go into my videos and let's check out the latest video that I completed, which was about the Sony Xperia C3, and we're going to open it so that way we can test it out and see, or so that you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about here. The loudspeaker is working perfectly well. I would say that the quality is quite nice. I mean, it's not the loudest speaker out there. The only thing that I don't like is that it's totally flat, so when you lay down on a table, the sound quality is going to be affected. But other than that, I would say it has a little bass to it, a lot of clarity, and treble. So everything is in combination with the speaker, and I don't have any complaints whatsoever. So here, guys, we're going to have the video, and we're going to go ahead and check out here real quick. The quality, we can only go up to 720p, so that was one of the issues that I am encountering with many Chinese devices. On my Samsung Galaxy S6 and any other US version phone, I am able to play 1080p videos, so I really don't know exactly what's causing it, but something is causing it. So maybe in the future, YouTube is going to know about that issue, and they're going to make an update for these Chinese devices. Also, we got here CPU-C. On CPU-C, we're going to once again confirm all the specs inside of this phone. We do have the brand. Now, I've seen this manufacturer many times, Alps, and they are quite common for Chinese devices, especially on clones. So I'm assuming that they make both clones and non-clones phone, but they're doing a great job. I mean, the Elephone brand is very nice, guys. I mean, it's a very nice phone that I would recommend to anyone, except for the fact that the menu keys here, the home key and the back key, don't light up. That's a little bit of a disappointment, but other than that, I can live with that. It's not a big deal. The next thing we're going to do here, guys, is go ahead and play with some applications and games that I have downloaded into the device, so that way you guys can see the gaming performance. So like always, make sure you guys enjoy it. guys, there we can conclude that this phone is definitely worth it. The fingerprint scanner was also working perfectly well. Now, something that I wish that maybe they could include it that would have been very nice is the NFC capability or hot nod. Unfortunately, we don't have that feature on here, but for the price, we really can't ask for much. Here, the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and put my phone on the weight scale so that way you guys can see how many grams it is. It's not going to be super light. That's because we have a big battery on the back, so it's going to be 155. So there we can see that it's a phone that feels very comfortable in your hand, and you can definitely grab it with one hand, being a 5-inch display. So that's very cool as well. Another great thing about this phone is that it also supports OTG, which if you have one of these adapters, you can connect mice, keyboards, and many other accessories. That's definitely a plus as well. Now, okay guys, and now with that being said, the next thing we're going to complete here is a Bluetooth test. Here I have my little Bose speaker, in which the comparison with the replica is coming very soon, so make sure you guys stay tuned to the channel. Here, let's go ahead and turn it on, and I believe that I have paired before with this device, and the Bluetooth is currently on, and I think it has connected already. So let's go into Bluetooth, and yes, it has paired. It only took about 5 seconds after pairing with it. So the next thing we're going to do here is go back. Let's go into audio profiles, settings, voice call ringtone, and let's check it out. Very responsive, I would say. And now let's test the loudspeaker on the phone itself. As I mentioned before, the quality of the speaker on the back is very good. You guys are going to be very satisfied, and also when completing phone calls, and that's one of the other tests that we're going to do. We're going to dial here 611 so that way you guys can see how fast it's connected. Right now I am connected with Cricket, so let's go ahead and dial 611 and check it out. Let's place it on loudspeaker.
Cricket Wireless. Let's get started. Press 1 for English. Marca 2 para español.
I don't know if you guys can hear the clarity. And now we're going to test the ear speaker. Alright guys, so yes, the ear speaker is also working perfectly well, so I was very impressed to see how well this phone performed outside. So when it comes to the quality of the ear speaker, it's much better than the previous Elephone P3000S. I'm assuming that these guys noticed about the issue, and they did address it very well. Okay, and now the next test we're going to complete here is the browser test, and right now I am connected to the Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi signal reception is working perfectly well. Also, we can take this time here briefly guys to know that we do have a notification LED light now that the battery is low. Is blinking here a red LED light, so yes, we do have it on there. So let's go ahead and open the browser, and here we're going to reload DHgate on Wi-Fi, and as we can tell, it's quite fast. Let's go ahead and open youtube.com, and it's going to prompt me here into Yahoo, but there we have the website. Of course guys, on Wi-Fi it is not questionable, it's working perfectly well. So now let's go ahead and turn off the Wi-Fi, and I am connected with Cricket, and I'm getting H+. The signal reception is perfect in here with this particular phone, so I think that the antenna is very powerful, and have in mind that we don't have aluminum this time, so I think that helps a little as well. Let's go ahead and open here dhgate.com, and let's see how well it opens with a 3G connectivity. And have in mind guys that this phone does support 4G LTE in certain countries. Now here in the USA the bands are not supported, unfortunately, so that's a little bit of a downside right there. So there we saw that yes, DHgate opened well. Let's go ahead and try here pandawill.com, which is the main website that I got this phone from. And again guys, a lot of people complain about PandaWill. Have in mind that they are not the manufacturer of these phones, so if you guys ever have a complaint, just make sure that you submit it to them. They are pretty good handling issues. So I think I just misspelled that a little bit right there. It's .com, and let's go ahead and search it once more. So here, let's go ahead and retype it on the top on the search menu. Let's type pandawill.com, and let's see if I can get it to open. The keyboard is sensitive. Now looking it through the camera is a little bit challenging. So there we have it guys. PandaWill did open quite fast. I mean, it's not going to be better than 4G LTE of course, but at least it's going to do its job here from the USA. And with that being said, I think I covered everything about this phone. And as always, if you guys do have any questions, please don't forget to comment down below. Like the video, subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on my next one.